I have to imagine in Los Angeles, because there's so many gay dudes, it has to be something like, if you're not almost 100% compatible with me, let's just move on, because there's literally there's so many more.
Yeah,
especially like in a West Hollywood or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
There has to be like 10 other guys in the bar where you're just like, if we're not completely vibing here, thank you for the whatever, and let's go over
that's kind of the problem. Are we recording? Oh, sweet. Okay, so you know what? And this is
when should we even start? Let's just.
You know what?
Edit it.
This is how. Hold on. Let me. Mike Sasson. This is how it began the first time.
Yeah.
When we were setting up the sound system, we were just getting.
Yeah, we were in Hollywood, and we just started talking. We didn't realize that they kept the first like 20 minutes.
And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, it is 2026.
2026.
Welcome to the inaugural, brand new, revamped Mike and Ron
here to help
podcast. We are in the Mix Studios in Koreatown.
And we're near you. We're in your
right down the street from my house, man.
I remember being like, I remember visiting this when one of our initial recordings was in your apartment.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
when I think we were doing like a test or something.
Yeah, I'm off of 4th and Mariposa, so I'm like about basically a mile and a half down the road, from here. So this is good. And so yeah, folks, we've heard your pleas, we've heard your cries. You guys wanted us to go video. We're old heads, and we were reluctant and lazy in a way. At least I was. But you know what?
I'll go with lazy. I'm lazy. I'll admit it.
Damn it, we had to step up our game, and so we're here at the Mix Studios. We got a brother who's doing our video. What's your name, brother? My brother Chris over there, and every once in a while we may try and elicit his opinion on some of the ridiculous shit we're talking about. This is the Mike and Ron here
to help. Chris seems to be somebody that's just kind of like, you know what, guys, just you do you.
Yeah.
He said he already mentioned he does 36 podcasts a week.
Yeah.
Most of them are about gaming and crypto.
Yeah,
he's kind of already like podcast out. We can ask him, but I think at this point
he's going to refer these new tween podcasters that I know. They're 14-year-old white girls that scream and jump up and down in little balloons and everything like that. And
that sounds like a horrible podcast.
Yeah, that would be a horrible fucking podcast.
Tween girls jumping in a balloon.
Mike, how the hell have you been, man?
I've been well. It's we haven't really spoken since, because that's the thing about the end of the year. You have the holidays.
You went to Pittsburgh?
I did not. I stayed here in Los Angeles.
Wow.
First time since the pandemic. Stayed here.
Why was that?
Because first and foremost, going back to Pittsburgh, as you are someone who's from back east, Philadelphia, you understand going back during Christmas. Number one, it was 18 degrees today in Pittsburgh. It was 75 or 80 here in LA.
I've stopped traveling back east a long time ago.
Yeah, I would say that at this point, I'm going back when the weather is at least okay. I'm going to go back. Last time I was in Pittsburgh was during the fall.
Yeah.
So it was nice. It was like 60 degrees.
Yeah,
I can deal with that.
Yeah, that's what I do.
I'm going back in the spring, maybe go to a baseball game, watch the nephews play baseball.
Right.
I'm not going back, because here's the thing. When you go back in Christmas, now everybody has, they're all married. So again, they have they got to go to which houses they're going for Christmas. And you're making it's always expensive to travel during Christmas because, the plane flights are more, hotels, all that kind of stuff. So it's just not working.
Yeah, I just don't like the travel energy. Number one, again, all my relatives are either in the Northeast, the South, or in Jamaica. And so wherever I choose to go, 1 out of 5 times I'm going to get stranded because of weather.
Yes.
I live in California now, so my blood is adapted to perfect weather all the time. So, I go see my mom usually in October, which I got to go see her right after the hurricanes this year. I'll go back
in Jamaica.
Yeah, in Jamaica. I'll go back to see her in May. And I just stay here. I got the friend family. We get together, drink, food, cook together, kind of potluck it, play games, gay Uncle Ron to the kids. And
I love that the kids even refer to you as gay Uncle Ron.
Nah, they just call me Ron.
Really?
Bush. Everybody calls me Ron Bush. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The kids call you Ron Bush?
It's a thing. I don't, no matter how I introduce myself to people, eventually there's like Ron Bush or Ron motherfucking Bush is another one. Yeah, Ron motherfucking Bush is a very common refrain. Even I have clients and coworkers, including The owner of my franchise, Daniel Jeffries, calls me Ron motherfucking Bush. It's the funniest thing.
I eventually get someone who
I won't
figures,
tell HR that, by the way.
No worries.
So, yeah.
I eventually get people that will figure out that my last name is great for making nicknames.
Right.
Sass.
Right.
Sasquatch.
Right.
Sassy.
Right.
You know,
right,
sassy
right.
pants.
Yeah.
Sass man. So that's eventually what happens. I always love when somebody goes, "Oh, should I call you Mike or Michael?" And I'm just like, that's
the dumbest question ever.
What do you, whatever you feel you want to call me, call me that. But no, I mean, I also, it is interesting when you grow up in Pittsburgh and you see that it's like 55 degrees. Normally that's short sleeve. That's nothing. Now 55 degrees, I'm putting on the parka.
Bro, I was in Jamaica in end of October. So the hurricane was 3 weeks after the hurricane. I flew out there, and I actually flew out there for work because Signature, one of the airlines, are one of our national accounts. And so we went out to inspect the hangar. And I got to peel
after the hurricane.
Yeah, after the hurricane. And I got to peel off to Illustrious and go see my mom, so it was really cool. Didn't have to pay to see my mom.
Now, did you eventually, because there was a possibility of you going to the Golden Globes? Did you go to the Golden Globes?
Did not go to the Golden Globes.
Boo, the Golden Globes.
Because of clement weather, or whatever. Because of good weather.
Because of good weather.
Because of good weather.
They were preparing for crappy weather because a week before the Golden Globes,
I was there.
You did the actors one in Santa Monica at the hangar.
We did the Critics' Choice. We did the Critics' Choice Awards.
So you got to hang around there.
I didn't go to that one. Vince did that one. Vince did that one, and
he didn't get you.
We didn't even. You know what? It happened so quickly because the rains were storming and everything like that. That he just rolled out there and it just went from there. So then we kept the water out of the hangar for the Critics' Choice Award. Did an amazing job, by the way. The Golden Globes were like, well, if it rains for us, we're going to need the same thing.
Yeah.
And so they had us, go out there.
On standby.
Yeah, had us go out there and do an inspection. And this is
it's at the Hilton.
It was
right?
at the Hilton, yeah. And so we basically inspected the facility, where we would bring in equipment, where they would station, how loud would it be, did all these other things just to kind of, be prepared to get the workers in. And we had crews on standby. So if it started raining, significantly, then they would.
Too bad it was 80 the whole week.
It was right, exactly. So
it was beautiful California weather, and hence you could not go.
And then
to the Golden Globes.
So due to security reasons, they were like, well, we can, since we don't need you.
You are a security risk. I would anticipate that there would be some flags that would come up if anyone looked into your background.
But so I went to go see my mom, and I go before the holidays, and holidays I stay here. I just don't like the travel energy. Airports are packed. People are idiots. You know what I'm saying?
Airports and hospitals are the two areas that I just hate.
Flights are too expensive, the whole
I
nine
hate
yards.
being in either one.
Yeah, I'm not going to play premium money to be miserable. I was the only person in Jamaica complaining about the weather.
What was the weather?
It was hot. It was hot.
I mean, does it get humid?
It gets humid, yeah.
Oh, fuck
humid.
that.
Yeah, it gets humid.
Humidity sucks.
Yeah.
Last summer, 2 summers ago, I was in Pittsburgh in July, and you've never met a more miserable human being around their family than me.
Yeah.
Humidity just when you now live in an area to where there is no humidity,
right, and
then you go back to humidity, you just become miserable because you look at everyone and go, you realize you don't have to deal with this.
Oh, you don't got to tell me. I mean, so they put us up in one of these, outside of Ocherias.
Yeah.
All the resorts were still open, so they put us in this all-inclusive resort, beautiful place. I go to this resort and everyone's like, oh, this is Jamaica. I'm like, fuck, it's hot. God damn. Mosquitoes all over the place. Like, God damn, I forgot. I was like, I should have come here until about another 2 months, but I was like, oh, God damn.
No, one of the things I always say about Jamaica is they say stay on those inclusive resorts, and they say, maybe want to venture off them.
That's bullshit.
Tell the people, because that's always the big thing.
Jamaica's a beautiful country, and the people are beautiful, and the cultures there are beautiful. But
you've heard the same thing I've heard.
Well, it's just American bullshit. You know what I'm saying? It's the fear of black people shit. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I mean anywhere you go in the world, from Paris or whatever, if you're an idiot, you are going to get took. That's just kind of
So your advice for anyone going in Jamaica is avoid being an idiot.
Avoid being an idiot. Yeah.
Yes.
There are rough neighborhoods. Yes, there are people that are going to take advantage of you because you're a tourist. I mean, that's literally here in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
So, but when you go to Jamaica, I mean, generally speaking, they're there for tourist dollars.
Yeah.
And so if you tell your driver, hey, take me here, I'll give you $100, bro, you're golden all day long. Trust me, trust and believe.
That's what they say about Mexico is that like the cartels even don't fuck with the tourist areas because they're just kind of like there's so much money in that they're just kind of like it would almost force the government to do something if they fucked with the tourist dollars.
First of all, been to Mexico a bunch. If the cartels want to sell you drugs.
That's kind of how their whole thing.
They want to sell you drugs.
Yes.
What are American tourists going down to do? Drugs, right?
And enjoy some quality culture.
Yeah, absolutely. Same thing in Jamaica. What are they going to do? Once you get to Jamaica, they start drinking alcohol. What do they want? Smoke weed and get some cocaine. This is bottom line. So you are generally safe as long as you're not a complete idiot.
What are some things that would say, hey, Ron, I want to avoid being an idiot in Jamaica. What are some things that you would say avoid doing?
Saying anything that you see on Fox News to any black person on that island. There's nothing that you've seen on Fox News that is acceptable behavior in a black nation. I say this all the time. One of the best things for me going to Jamaica is as soon as you get off the plane, it's a black country. All racism is gone. Everybody is a brother. Everybody is you. I'm a son of Jamaica. From the driver, if you get a driver, to the person you sit next to on a jutney bus or whatever it is, right? Wherever you go, there's a commonality, there's a brotherhood, and there's a family feel to it. When they hear that you're American, like, oh, you're coming to see your mother, and then you start chopping it up about that, and they're giving you things, they're taking care of you, and there's this whole thing about it. It's a beautiful time, and if you're a tourist in Jamaica, as long as you're cool, they're going to vibe with you.
Yeah,
that's
it's true everywhere.
Yeah, it's again, it's this American stereotype in anything that in America, any place where there's black or brown people, you're going to hear these things. Oh, you got to watch out when you go here. Oh, you got to watch out when you go there. Now, if you're
not even outside the country, if you see brown people, they're going to be like, oh, you got to watch out when they go there.
Absolutely. And now, since I've been to both these countries, Venezuela and Caracas. Caracas, Venezuela.
When was the last time you were in Venezuela?
I was in Venezuela last time, 2001, 2002.
Now that was when the oil was still pumping.
This is when Chavez was in office, and
now the economy had not completely.
No, not at all. I mean, but listen, there's cartel down there. I mean, that's a real thing, and so. There is a very good chance, that is a place that I would say be a little bit more careful where you're going, because you will get robbed at gunpoint, and people will say, give me your watch. And if you don't give it to you, they will chop your fucking arm off, your wrist off for it. There are places like that where that can happen without any repercussion by the police or anything like that, just because of, the way that that place is run at that time. But when I was going there, I was with, the Arubans and with gentlemen that may or may not have been experienced in been experienced
wink, wink,
in the ways of drug trafficking.
Yeah.
And so I was always rolling with the crowd of people that was never going to be an issue.
Anytime you go into any sort of neighborhood or any place in the world, again, keep to yourself. Don't be an idiot. Don't carry yourself like a rube is in the building. Yeah. Like somebody that can be taken advantage of.
Well, the thing about Americans is, it's funny, you go to Jamaica and Aruba, the Caribbean islands, Bonaire, Curacao, and them. You can tell when Americans are walking in, they do walk in with this arrogance to them. And they have, besides the clothes, Americans walk in, they're generally louder, they're more arrogant, they want to tip everybody. You know what I mean? They think that their shit doesn't stink. And again, they go to these countries with these preconceived notions about what these countries are all about, not recognizing that you don't know these countries.
Yeah.
What you may have heard or seen on your YouTube video or your Instagram feed or TikTok about the do's and don'ts of these countries. That's one individual's opinion, and you don't know who this person was.
That was one of the things that was when
they could have been an idiot.
When I visited Sweden, they had us like in a group for a while, and everybody knew we were Americans. Yeah. As soon as we walked in the building, everyone knew it was American.
Absolutely, from your clothes.
From the clothes and the way that people talked and the way to whatever.
Yeah.
One of the last days there, I was able to take about 3 or 4 hours where I was venturing off from the group, and I was able to walk around. I was in Gothenburg, and I walked around in like the main marketplace and all that kind of stuff. That's where I told you I went to McDonald's and ordered and everything like that. And the thing about it was they all started talking Swedish to me.
Right.
They all were like, oh, tall, white guy, whatever. And I remember talking to one of my Swedish hosts, and I was like, oh, it's funny, without you guys, everybody thought I was Swedish.
Yeah.
And he goes, take that as a giant compliment.
Yeah.
Take that as a compliment that you didn't have that air about you, that you did not have that, oh, this guy's an American, look, he's talking and being an idiot. You did walk around and just were very cool, and everybody was like, okay, I guess that's somebody else.
I'm going to Portugal with 5th to the 17th, with Barney and those guys. I was talking to the guys at Zebra Room about it, and they were like, so what are you going to do when you're there? I was like, be respectful.
Be respectful, and also, if you really want to experience a place, I always feel if you ever want to see a city, if you ever want to see a people, you kind of have to, obviously you want to see the places that they're going to show you, because it's going to be like, oh, look at this cathedral and look at this castle and look at all this kind of stuff. Right. But then it is like, hey, let's just one or two of us kind of go into the marketplace. I have every intention.
I never, whenever I travel, I always end up in some small town. I always end up, I joke that I've been to England. I've been to the United Kingdom 13 times. Yeah. And when I talk to somebody from England, I say, I've been to England so many times I've ended up in Stoke-on-Trent. They're like, my God, what are you doing in Stoke? But it's like, because I meet people, we become friends, and I go to this pub, go to that pub, and you end up going places and seeing things. I don't like the touristy stuff.
Yeah. I'm turning 50 in October, and one of the things that I'm thinking about myself for my 50th birthday is go over to Ireland and England.
Yeah, England's amazing. Yeah. Ireland, Scotland's amazing.
Yeah.
Just great, very different places.
Yeah, of course.
But just,
that's one of the things
culturally, it's just they're so old, and the castles and the architecture, it's breathtaking. That's one of the reasons why I've gone there so many times. To my detriment, I should have gone over to Amsterdam, which is like a $120 flight. And I've had opportunities to do that, but I've just kind of stayed in England and just really enjoyed the culture and the people that was there. So now is kind of my new focus to hit many more places within. Because while I'm going to be in Portugal, I'm going to take 2 days and go over to Madrid.
Oh, absolutely.
And go see that for a little bit and, bounce around a little bit.
So if you get the point of Mike and Ron.
Here to help. Yeah.
You just got better travel advice in the last 20 minutes.
I would hope
that you'd get one, don't be an idiot.
Yeah.
2, when you get there, be respectful.
Right.
3, again, don't be an idiot.
Yeah.
And 4, just tone it down a bit
and enjoy yourself.
Enjoy yourself and be. And again, you're a guest.
I think more importantly is stop looking at information videos that you see on YouTube and Instagram. And TikTok as factual. Every person has their own opinion, and so you maybe watch because of the types of videos that you watch on these platforms. Anyway, the algorithms are going to feed you certain content, so it's more agreeable to you. They're feeding you what you want. If you eat cookies all day, the first place what Instagram, TikTok, the algorithm are going to feed you are cookies. And so they're going to give you people with perspectives that fit yours. And if you notice, when you start nowadays, especially with social media, it even happens to me, when you start hearing opinions that you don't want to hear or believe, you're kind of like, oh, I don't want to listen to this. And you might kind of want to turn it off. So just stop believing that. Just go with an open mind, be respectful, and allow the people at where you're going to tell you the culture of the people.
Because that's the whole point. You don't want to go to America Junior. You want to go to that place and experience that place so that you understand that.
Absolutely.
And then the other thing they always talk about, this is the new, someone told me this is that a lot of women are doing this on first dates. They'll sit there and be like, show me, press the magnifying glass on your Instagram. Because if you do that and it shows you, you will see exactly what that person's looking at. And that page will absolutely show you everything about that person.
That's hilarious. I would say it's in my gay dating, my straight dating joke. I suggest that straight couples start doing what gay men do, and your date starts at a coffee. If you're interested in this person for more than sexual purposes, your date starts at a coffee shop, and you buy yourself, and each person buys their own.
So I just did it with myself. As you can see, dogs,
right,
hot women, and basically things about Pittsburgh. There's that guy who was like the Trump
Scaramucci.
Yeah, he's talking about Trump world order. Things about baseball. So like literally, who's going to be the new defensive coordinator for USC? Right. New laws in California in 2026. Let's go over this because again, we're here to help. So this is something you do if you want to know somebody. And, be respectful. Tell them to by the way, if someone's willing to do it, that means they're not a psychopath and they're not going to be like whatever. Yeah. So just while you're looking at that, here are new laws in California in 2026. Refund protections for food delivery apps. Full refunds if your order is not delivered, you received the wrong order, real human customer support, and itemized driver pay breakdown. That's a new law in California. Can I
ask a question?
Sure.
Why I don't, maybe it's just me.
It probably is.
I don't get I understand like having some food, like if you have guests over or whatever, having pizzas and everything like delivered. Who the fuck is having like McDonald's delivered with DoorDash?
There are so many.
It's some of this
There's
stuff.
So many people that live off that.
Like, what is wrong with you?
Lots. It's the reason why we're okay. Now we're getting fucking real. There are so many goddamn people ruining their goddamn lives because they never talk to people. You can have, because if your job is like online and you're in your house and then you get Grubhub or whatever, you will literally go days without ever talking to another human being, and it's ruining people. Go out and talk to even if you talk to a freaking waitress or talk to a person we have to buy a coffee.
First of all, working for a restoration company, that's already a reality. You have people that they work from home.
Yep.
They don't go to the gym. They get all of their food delivered. They don't cook.
Yep.
And so when you walk into their house, if they have a flood, their toilet, whatever overflows,
you don't even notice it because it's fucked up anyway.
And you walk in and you're just like, dude, have you left this building? He's like, and it's not awful, but you can see the looks in their faces are like all weird when they're letting you in. They're like, because they don't want you to see that they're hermetized.
That's again back to the whole press the magnifying glass on Instagram. You figure that out.
My point being, because here's the thing, I just pressed mine and it's like this is not even a representation of what I look at.
Actually, it probably is.
I don't look at any.
Okay,
look at this thing.
I showed you mine, so
I'm gonna show it to you as soon as it pulls up. Okay, well, David, cooking shows, Ric Flair. I mean,
of course, that is totally you. Cooking shows, Ric Flair, a bunch of dudes. That's you.
When I pulled it up before, it's just a bunch of dudes' bodies. I was like, I don't even watch stuff like that on my phone. I really don't. I literally don't.
How many people believe that?
Dude, I have a Grindr on my phone. What do I need to look at fucking Instagram guys for? I can have a guy over my house in 15 minutes.
See how quickly you get a guy over here.
Nah, don't even. Grindr's such a. By the way, okay, so I was in a relationship up until the end of October, so I wasn't on Grindr for almost a year. I get back on Grindr. What a fucking cesspool that
it's gotten worse in just the year being off.
Jesus Christ!
Because I have gay friends who literally, like, you talk about like Grubhub. They can get a dude to their house quicker than they can get McDonald's.
Absolutely, you can. Yeah, absolutely, you can. That's without a doubt. Let's just start off with. They have a new feature now where it's like called Right Now, which is like if you're looking for right now. You can see all the guys that are looking for right now in your area and start hitting them up. I mean, it's.
Do you realize how much it takes for me to get like shocked, like me hold my pearls? The button, right? That means an engineer had to sit there and be like, hey, we have dudes who want to bang each other and they want it right now. Can't we just have a button that's just like right now? And like an engineer's like, yeah, sure, whatever.
But the entire app is right now. I mean, since when has that fucking app not been right now?
Now you need to have like
it's only a hookup app. You know, I would
at least with women, if you go to like Tinder and Bumble and all this kind of stuff, they at least want you to put like your interests and all that other kind of stuff.
You're supposed to put your interests too, but it's a fucking.
But if your interest is just dick,
I mean, it's a bunch of gay guys. Whatever our interests, we're on Grindr. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
You know, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
There's no. You know,
there's no interest.
You know, like I say in one of my
interests
jokes.
Are for other things.
Like I say,
Grinders for
like I say in one of my jokes. If the sex isn't good, I don't need to know your name. You know what I'm saying? How many?
By the way, that's a great first line of a song from like 1985.
How many guys? You ask any of your gay friends, America and internationally, wherever you're seeing this, 5,000 years ago, some alien species. That finds these transmissions and.
By the way, if you're an alien species watching this show,
run.
We're not worth blowing up. Don't worry about it.
Just to believe you have no interest. But you ask, I mean, a website where a bunch of gay men get together. What are we talking about besides fucking? I mean, we're men, and we're single, and we're on a dating.
You don't talk about like the NFL playoffs or anything like that.
None of that. There's none of that.
You don't talk about over-unders? Want to talk about Indiana versus Miami in the national championship?
You can meet guys and sleep with them 3-4 times and not even know their name.
Wow. How do you refer to them?
Bro, what's up? How are you?
What's up, dog?
Good seeing you. Yeah. Hey, how you been? Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's amazing how debaucherous the gay lifestyle is.
So one of my regulars who I recently reconnected with now that I'm single again, Peter, we didn't even know each other's name.
Really?
I saw him. He had me. What my?
Did he? He didn't know you were just guy with blue hat.
Yeah. My nickname on Grindr is Loki Variant. So he had me his phone as Loki Variant. I'm a Marvel nerd. It's funny. It's funny. You know what I mean? Yeah, I love Marvel too. Oh, don't.
I love.
Yeah, come on. Don't shame in the game, baby. No shame in the game.
You're all,
but my point being is, my point being
is, your point is that you've figured out a hack, which is get women out of your life, and life becomes easier.
It's just become such a cesspool. It's just like,
but even more than more than a year ago when it was, just a cesspool to begin with.
It's like all dudes that want to smoke meth and fuck and it's just trashy. It's just trashy, and it's just weird. You know what I mean?
But see, here's what happens with that. Once Grindr becomes the app of the scumbag, then someone sits there and thinks of one for just clean, good-natured gay fucking.
I think people are starting to migrate to other apps.
Oh,
you know
good for them. So, that's
But
important.
again, I don't need to be spending all my time on apps of any sort.
Yeah, of course. More laws in California that have changed. Streaming services cannot blast you with extra loud ads.
You know what?
By the way, I pay for the extra so you don't have freaking.
Thank you, California. Thank you, California, for
that's the kind of scratch I have.
Yeah, thank you, California, for passing a law about the size, the loudness of my ads.
Yes, and that was. I mean,
could we pass a law to get zoning done quicker so we can build more housing and build that high-speed rail thing? By the way.
Nope, not at all. By the way, down the street, again, around Los Angeles, there's always going to be a homeless person. There's a guy down the street. He doesn't have he's not homeless because his house is bigger than mine. It's like on the sidewalk.
Yeah,
I believe his his living domicile is made out of like cartons and
everything
like that. And I believe it might be bigger than mine.
Yeah, there's a couple of expansive ones. I've seen them around too. Yeah, so so that I would like to. Let me ask you this.
Sure. By the way, right to return or used car. Mm-hmm. New law caps overdraft fees. That's important.
I like that one.
That's a good one.
Yeah. But they should. But they already have that already, right? Caps them at how many overdraft fees you can get, I guess. Is what
limits insufficient funds fees, reduces extra charges.
Thankfully, I don't have to deal with those anymore.
Yeah, because I got cash.
Because we're adults,
Yeah, car rental places must show the real total up front.
Oh, that's a joke. Okay.
That sucks because always like you're trying to get a rental car and you're like, ooh, I get this rental car for $50. They're like, yeah, well, that you have to pay extra for the tires.
So let me get you on this one.
Sure, get it, Debbie.
I found it very ironic that ICE killed a white woman whose last name is Good. So you had basically good versus evil, and evil pretty much won on this one. What are your first of all, what are your thoughts? And
I am against the murdering of white women who are unarmed.
I'm against the murdering of any woman, but I guess what my question is, we have right now a situation where there is a police state growing in this country.
Everything that everyone said,
even Joe Rogan is saying
that everyone said who was against Trump in the last election that said it was going to happen has happened. The tariffs have increased prices and has not helped the economy.
Correct.
He has used the levers of government for his own personal vendetta against his perceived enemies, but now he's even upped it.
Project 2025 is real. Is that what you're saying?
Everything that everyone said that was going to happen has happened.
So
everything he said.
Why is it that these people are acting like they are surprised? We didn't vote. What I'm hearing now is the common refrain is that's not what we voted for. And I'm like, yes, that's exactly what you voted for. What is he doing now that he didn't do before?
Because no one actually listened to anybody's arguments. All they found out, and I've had this thought today. Basically, all Trump sold, and this goes back to one who is now coming out as being against it, Joe Rogan.
I can't wait to talk to that dude.
But
honestly,
essentially,
please don't pretend that you didn't know.
He is now coming out against the ICE raids and everything like that. But the problem is, here's, in my opinion, what happened. Trump and the Republicans brilliantly made the last election a vote against. It was either strength and masculinity, or in their minds and in their marketing, femininity and weakness. So essentially what Joe Rogan helped sell to the bro American podcast group was, if you don't vote for Donald Trump, then free markets are dead. Free speech is dead. You know, we're all going to have to be sitting in classrooms where we get blamed for everything in the history of the world. No one can have any comedy anymore. Everything's over. And now that didn't happen, and all of a sudden the negative that everyone says, like, hey, you're right. Oh, I didn't vote for that. I voted so that I could, say the word retard. That's why I thought it.
And so I was in Dallas a couple months ago, sometime in November. Yep. First of all, what I find really funny is anytime you're in the South or in Dallas and in Texas, and you tell somebody you're from California, you're like, oh, you're from California, I'm sorry. And then they have these completely delusional ideas of what it's like to live in California. So I was I was unwinding a group of people who had these delusional ideas about something that they had no clue about. And I said to them, I said, that's interesting. I was like, let me ask you something. How did your elected officials, how many of you are satisfied with the insurance industry, whether it's health or property? How many of you are satisfied with the tax rates? How many people are satisfied with the cost of living? How many people are satisfied with the educational system and the cost that your kids are being saddled with when they go to college? And nobody raised their hands. So I can say, okay, cool. So now how many of you know how your elected official, not my California libtards, how your elected officials have voted to ensure that your life is better? And if you don't know, then you're the problem. Don't tell me about what's happening in California when we're at least trying to pass laws to make benefit. And I'm not here to defend. I do not want to be in a situation where I'm the guy who's trying to defend the Democratic Party, because I absolutely don't have any intention of doing that. But I'm also not going to allow you to point the finger at the Democratic Party when you aren't pointing the finger at your own elected officials. Your state is performing poorly. Your state is having measles outbreaks. Your state has all these things that are going on. Women's rights, don't have women's rights. All these things that you don't agree with, but you're acting like all of that is out of your power. And you're not the most important things that you have to pay in your life: mortgage, interest rates, your retirement funds, school tuitions, and your insurances, and your mortgages and your rents. These are the most important things that you're paying in your life, and nobody is happy with how those things are structured or the rates that you're paying, and you're still voting for the same people, and you still have no idea how they actually voted when the bills were passed or what they did to negotiate a better deal for you. Right. And you're expecting a better outcome.
I've made it even simpler for me because I'm not a bright guy.
You're just an old country lawyer.
I'm just an old country lawyer.
Just like Joe Scarborough. I love him.
I know. I don't know much about anything. Just an old country bumpkin, hayseed in the mouth.
Yeah.
All I want out of my elected officials is focus like a laser beam on two things: safety and prosperity. The safety of the people and the prosperity for as most people as humanly possible.
Yeah.
And if you're telling me that your elected official is more concerned about the safety and prosperity of a few people, of certain demographics who donate to them, then guess what? I don't like your elected official. I want someone who basically sits there and says, I want to focus on like a laser beam on the
Mike,
safety and security and prosperity of as many human beings as humanly possible.
But Mike, there's a trans girl in some state someplace that wants to play a sport.
Isn't it amazing how that actually doesn't help the safety and security and prosperity of anybody?
But wait, there's a woman that wants to go to the bathroom in the men's room.
And there's some comedian that got yelled at because he made a joke and someone didn't like it in the audience. Or there's a guy who basically says that, hey, maybe we shouldn't let normal citizens have military grade weaponry in their houses.
It's funny. When I was in Dallas, this one guy, I was having a talk with him. We were in the middle of this conversation, and I go, I guess, when was the last time you've heard of a trans person coming into a bathroom and taking advantage of and sexually assaulting anyone? You're how old? He was like 53. I was like, in your 53 years, how many times have you heard of a trans person going into a bathroom and sexually assaulting or assaulting somebody in any way, shape, or form? Never heard of it. When was the last time you heard of somebody being accosted or something going down in a men's bathroom where that made the news? Republican. He was like, yes. I was like, and so what did you vote for?
Well, how about this? When was the last time you heard that the president of the United States is currently covering up a child sex ring?
Yeah,
that's a pretty prominent one.
Well, the thing that I really love about the really thing that I love about release the Epstein files. By the way, release the Epstein files, folks. Let's just keep focused, okay? Let's not worry about Venezuela and Greenland, okay? Let's. Donald Trump will be removed from office as soon as those files are released. Why? Because he was best friends with Jeffrey Epstein for the better part of 12 years. They were best friends. You are not best friends with an accused pedophile. If I'm best friends with somebody, I know everything about them. Okay? I'm going to their house. I'm hanging out with them. We're doing dinners and barbecues and nights out. And you seen the videos of him and fucking Epstein bopping around with a bunch of underage, bunch of young girls in that party video, that infamous party video that we've all seen. If you do not think that man it does not have some form of dirt on his hands as a pedophile, you are a complete idiot. Why? Because he's already an accused and convicted rapist. So do not give me this bullshit, Rogan and all these other guys, these right-wing podcasters, that you didn't vote for this. You knew exactly who you were voting for. He is a white supremacist. You knew exactly who you were voting for.
Well, that's all this ICE stuff is. If you really wanted to know what this ICE stuff is, it's a bunch of white people looking at the demographics of the country, essentially skewing more towards
black and brown people. They're going for the brown people first.
And more or less, they're sitting there trying to more or less reverse it.
Yeah.
And they lied to you saying, oh, we're going after the rapists and the murderers and the worst of the worst. And eventually they were like, nope, we're going after guys who put up drywall.
And here's the thing. It was, at least with thinking human beings that don't watch Fox News, OAN, or Newsmax, or one of those bullshit ass propaganda channels, it is well known that immigrants commit less crimes than native-born Americans, because they don't want to get deported, because they had to get their green card, because it took them so much money and effort to move their entire families, to uproot their lives from wherever they came to be able to get here, because they're pursuing the American dream. So they're not coming here to commit crime, because they will be sent back to where they came from. And if these people came from certain countries, then they have a chance of going back to those countries and being killed, thrown in prison, whatever the case may be. So, but it is Americans. And by the way, again, who has killed more people in the past 20 years? Shooters, school shooters, mass shooters. Who are they? Generally speaking, 80-something% of them, whatever that statistic is white males of some age or fashion. You have a few Asians, you have a few Latinos, you have a few black people that that have gone out and do these things, but by and large, it's white males. But during this last election, they're talking about getting the criminals out of the country. Well, why don't you look at yourself for a minute? And everything about them is projection. It's all projection, right? We don't want pedophiles. Yeah. You elected a pedophile, and it was clear. You have to be, to me, you have to be a complete idiot not to think that man's not guilty.
You remember when he was sitting there and he was going through the interviews, and then the lady goes, and you'll release the Epstein files? He goes, well, there's a lot of people that could get hurt, caught in that.
What are you talking about? Yes, please hurt all the pedophiles. I'm a sexual survivor. This is extraordinarily passionate for me. How dare these people sit up here and keep these women away from what they deserve, which is justice.
By the way, just so you know, the Mike and Ron Here to Help podcast.
We're here to help.
Anti-pedophilia.
Yeah.
I don't care how many people we lose having that stance.
I'll die on that hill.
We will die on that hill that we are anti-pedophilia. I don't care how many people go, hey, Mike, there's a gigantic podcast market that you're completely going against. I'm telling you this right now. The Mike and Ron
Here to Help
will not stand for pedophilia.
And what's really interesting, especially over this past year, in this past calendar year, I would have to go through and do the count, but there's been like 6 or 7 Republicans in different states, and all that are being indicted, and being all these like conservative podcasters being indicted for sexual assault of children. Child, and all this other child pornography and all this other stuff. There's like at least 6, 7 of them. Not, what I mean? And it's like, dude, your party is riddled with these people.
ChatGPT or whatever. How many Republicans have been? Because that's not something I keep a tally on. I'm too busy worrying about Rams Bears 6 o'clock. Let's see what happens there. I think over under.
I am still embroiled in trying to help rebuild Los Angeles and tell jokes while I'm at it.
That's right.
See here.
By the way, I was thinking about this the other day.
How many conservatives have been arrested?
You're gonna get flagged by Elon Musk for asking this. They're gonna be like, "Why do you want to know?"
You gotta stop talking because it's like.
Oh, I know I hate that when that happens too. You put the microphone on it. I'll stop talking about how much Elon Musk is gonna throw us off all of social media.
In the past year.
I'm gonna start doing like music.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
How many it list?
Elected officials 2 to 3. Conservative line public figures, a 1 known case. Total individual high profile pieces 3 to 4. 3 to 4 that the ChatGPT came
Okay,
up with.
let's do both sides. Now do Democrats, liberals.
Okay.
Because I'm all about.
How many liberals in the last year have been arrested for child pornography or pedophilia? One. Yeah.
Who was that?
This guy, Florida Democratic Party official arrested on child pornography cases. Matthew A. Inman.
Yeah,
in
he's
2024.
Florida.
Yeah, one.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. But
Yeah, I had this question. I want to ask you.
But
this.
I think that this is not a full thing because there's more.
Okay, so
like
4-1.
Yeah, 4-1.
4-1. That's still pretty good. That's still a considerable difference in.
I don't know if that's a victory lap. I mean, I feel bad for these.
Victory.
Yeah, I feel bad for these.
Imagine
children.
if that was a platform at the Democratic National Committee. They sit there and be like, "We are only 1 out of 4 pedophiles are, us."
Right. It's just, I just think that what really bothers me about the Republican Party right now is this whole, this is not we voted for a crowd. It's that's not how you just say I was wrong. Let's just go there. Let's just say no. Don't say this is not. Either you're a complete ignoramus,
which is probably more the
you're lying,
question.
Or you're lying.
It's the simple fact of the matter is that they wanted to believe again that they convinced themselves because they didn't want to vote for a woman of color
Right,
from San Francisco. So they sat there and said, well, I'm voting for the guy who has a better track record with the economy, even though he has bankrupted multiple casinos.
And he bankrupted the economy the last time.
And he didn't do too well the first time. And ultimately, I also voted for a guy that, he didn't get us in any wars, and now he's invading countries and now he's going to invade and blow up Iran, and that's obviously going to work out well for everybody. This is a question I ask people who are for Trump. This guy has now been in public life in the public life for like 40 years, since the 1980s.
Right.
He has been in the political realm now going well north of 10 years.
Yeah, almost 15.
Who are his closest friends? Like the people that go up to, like, that have been interviewed and been like, this is the real Donald Trump.
Well, he has no friends.
That's the point.
Yeah, he has no friends.
Like all he has is his family.
Yeah.
He has he has people that works for him and his family.
We've said this in a previous Mike and Ron Here to Help podcast.
Here to Help. Go listen to all of them, damn it.
Listen to all our podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts. But in one of those previous podcasts, I said that every time you see anytime you see any of the family members, they look like they're mentally abused. They all look like they're mentally abused. All of them. Don Jr., Eric, this Barron one now. Melania it looks like Cruella DeVille. I mean, literally, if she was to kill Dalmatians on the foyer of the White House, I would not be surprised. They all look horribly mentally abused.
I will say this. The women associated with that whole thing have had some of the worst plastic surgery I've ever seen in my life.
They all have. Yeah, it does.
Obviously, we're not supposed to talk about women's features, except when, in mass, every woman that is involved in that movement seems to basically
Kristi Noem.
It's insane.
Yeah, it's just
not one natural looking woman in that entire group.
All Laura Ingraham and Kelly, whatever her name is,
who gives a shit?
they all just look ridiculous. And what's that black woman sellout? What's her name?
Candace Owens.
Candace Owens. She wears this makeup that's like 2 shades lighter than her actual skin tone. I mean, these people, they're batshit fucking crazy. They're batshit crazy. And people just look at this.
Marjorie Taylor Greene now all of a sudden trying to she's finding Jesus now.
Marjorie Taylor Greene, I'm going to, let's give credit where credit is due. Marjorie Taylor Greene, who I believe has the moral character of a hyena, pulling meat from a lion.
Yeah.
But she drew the line at pedophilia. And you know what? Thank you, Marjorie. Thank you for drawing the line at pedophilia. I appreciate that.
And I reiterate, the Mike and Ron Here to Help podcast.
We're just here to help.
Anti-pedophilia.
Yeah. I mean,
if you're a pedophile, stop watching or stop listening.
Lauren Boebert.
Get your goddamn
Lauren
help.
Boebert.
Is that how you pronounce her name?
I don't even care.
Okay.
Close enough. Draws the line at pedophilia.
Wow.
Right? You know what? Congratulations.
Congratulations at drawing a line.
I thought you had no moral character whatsoever.
Hurting kids is where it was the point of they'd stop.
But you know what? God bless you.
Yeah.
God
eventually
bless
you get to the limit.
Absolutely. Now let's talk about all the rest of them.
Let's not.
They have no problem defending this guy
because they have no other marketable skill. There is nothing that they do well. There's not one of them that decided to go anywhere. There's not one of them that were like, you know what, let me go do something else other than something related to my father. They all know that they are connected to their father for the rest of their lives. It's the only way they can make money. If Don Jr. didn't have his daddy's name, he'd be an assistant manager of a Target in like northern New Jersey.
Kash Patel, the self-hating homosexual that is J.D. Vance. Marco Rubio.
Chances J.D. Vance is wearing eye makeup.
He does. You see it on his face all the time. The dude, he's gay, dude. That dude is gay. He's and he's not the good gay. He's the self-hating homosexual that we all feel bad for. But he's another Mike. He's like Mike Pence light. You know what I mean?
How about Mike Pence has turned into everyone has their limit. His was
they almost
stealing
killed me.
they almost killed me and they forced me to break the law.
But look what it takes to have moral character and to stand up for yourself and to stand up for the country that you were voted in office to take care of. My God, is that what it took, Mike Pence?
Yes.
Them to, if they were
to say, hang Mike Pence.
That you had to flee your offices as the Capitol's being overrun. And by the way,
no, it was just a group of people walking through.
And by the way, you're still too spineless. You should be taking the fight to these people. Which the guy with the looks like a white male walrus,
Bolton.
With John Bolton.
Yeah.
When John Bolton is
who currently is under indictment because they're weaponizing the Justice Department.
But why? Because he was the only one.
Yep.
That continued to take the fight to this guy.
Yep.
When John Bolton is the only person to show you what it's like to be whatever these pseudo-conservatives, these neocon conservatives consider him to be, whatever.
Because if there's anything about him, at least he has beliefs.
He has beliefs.
That's one of the things about conservatives that, again,
he believes in America.
When I was growing up, there was liberals and conservatives, and they were having an argument. And that argument was, again, from the beginning, what I talked about, which group would give you the best chance to have the most security and the most prosperity. And they were having that debate. Now, I don't even believe that these people and the liberals, conservatives are even having a discussion. They can't even decide what the problem is.
Right.
Like a liberal will sit there and be like, hey, we have to make sure that people have proper health care, and the other group is like, well, but what about trans swimmers and comedians being able to say derogatory things about minority groups? What about that? I mean, that doesn't provide prosperity or security to anybody.
Absolutely. Hey, by the way, Mike, you know what?
Here to help.
We're here to help. Let's click this over into the second hour.
Should we?
We're going to click it over to the second hour because this is a good edit point.
Edit it.
Since this is a video, we're going to edit this, and then we're going to start the second hour. We can, and
sounds like a plan.
We're ready to go. So listen, ladies and gentlemen, you have seen the return of the Mike and Ron Here to Help podcast. Here now located at Mixed Studios in Koreatown. If this is still considered Koreatown. Koreatownish,
It's Koreatown. It's the suburbs of Koreatown.
Really nice places if you're on.
By the way, this place, these things, honestly, I've been looking at this whole and it made me hungry because they look like Danishes.
If you're on shrooms, this is a really great little background. So anytime you tune in, you can see my little shroom background and let that.
No, I think they look like a collection of either donuts or Danishes.
Mike, I'm not going to comment on that. But that just lets you know where your mind is at. I'm surprised when you showed your Microsoft, your Instagram.
It was puppies, women, and football. That's pretty much my life.
And now we should have Danishes. But this has been yet another episode of the Mike and Ron.
Here to help.
We'll see you in a few moments.
Bye.
Yeah.